In this video, we're going to look at multi-step equations that involve grouping symbols. And by grouping symbols, I just mean a set or two sets of parentheses. So as you watch this video, please fill in the note sheet that you have. The most important thing to remember is that you always eliminate the parentheses first. And keep in mind, in order to get rid of parentheses, we use the distributive property. So I see a set of parentheses here, and I'm going to distribute the 7 to both terms inside the parentheses so that I can get rid of them. So 7 times 2x is 14x, and then 7 times 3 is 21. On the right-hand side of the equation, there aren't any parentheses, so I'm just going to bring down the terms as they are. So this equals 10x plus 5. And at this point, you have an equation that has variables on both sides. And like we've talked about in class, your first job is to collect the variables on one side. In a case like this, it does not matter which way you decide to do that. So I am going to eliminate the 10x from the right-hand side, and since that's positive, I'm going to subtract 10x so that the two pair off to make a 0, and I can cross them out. And to keep this equal, I have to subtract 10x on the left side as well. So what we now have is 4x plus 21 is equal to 5. And at this point, we're back to our typical two-step equation. And of course, my goal is to get x by itself. So I'm going to start with the number that's sitting by itself, which is the 21. 21 is being added, so I will subtract it. Whatever I do on the left, I'll do on the right. And I'm left with 4x equals negative 16. We're very, very close to being finished. I have one more term to get rid of so that x is by itself, and that's the 4. The 4 and the x are being multiplied, so I divide by 4. Come to the right side, divide by 4 again. And we get a final answer of x equals negative 4. Keep in mind that you should always be checking your work, and in order to check my work, I would put the 4 back in for x in the original problem, and I would make sure that when I solve each of those sides, I get the same answer. Let's look at another problem. So again, I see parentheses on the left-hand side, so I'm going to distribute first. We multiply 5 by both of these terms. And so my new expression, or equation I should say, would be 10x minus 10. And on the right-hand side, there was not any parentheses to eliminate, so that's going to come down just as it is. Now I have a variable on the left, and I have another variable on the right, so I'm going to combine them. And I'll go in the opposite direction of what I did last time, so this time I'm going to get rid of the 10x on the left-hand side. It's a positive 10x, so I will subtract it. A positive 10x and a negative 10x pair off to make nothing, so that becomes 0. And if I subtract 10x on the left, I have to subtract 10x on the right. So we'll subtract there. What I'm left with is negative 10 equals 2x minus 10x is negative 8x plus 14. And at this point, we are back to a two-step equation. So the first thing I will do is subtract the 14 from both sides. On the right-hand side, the 14 cancels out. And on the left-hand side, negative 10 minus 14, or negative 10 plus negative 14, gives me negative 24. So negative 24 is equal to negative 8x. And then my final step is to divide by negative 8. Cancels out on the right. Divide by negative 8 on the other side. And negative 24 divided by negative 8 gives me 3. Again, to check my work, I would replace x with a 3. So we would say 2 times 3 here. And then I'd also replace this x with a 3. And I would solve both sides. So over here, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 14 is 20. Over here, if I follow PEMDAS, I start inside the parentheses. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. And as long as I get the same answer for both sides, I know that my work is correct.